So we'll have a meeting if we need it,
if we need it.
if we need it.
Do we want to pass a
Is there,
resolution on this?
is there any objection to that process?
But let's put it in a resolution.
Yeah, put it in a
No
resolution so
problem.
we have it.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Are
Jen.
these questions as written good to go? I want to make sure of that as well.
Yeah, let's get that's why we need the procedure. Go ahead, John. Tell me what you're talking about now.
Okay.
We'll put it in the form of a resolution.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. All right, so long as no questions from the public are received regarding CDM Smith's RFI submittal by Monday, October 16th, those questions will be forwarded to CDM Smith as part of the RFI process. If questions from the public are received prior to Monday or on Monday, October 16th, then the Technology Committee will hold a meeting to consider inclusion of those public comments.
Can we
Feel
just
free.
add that we were adding Commissioner Crane, his question about adding a fourth MHI.
Okay.
What was that, Jonah?
That was the question that came up about, could we ask them to consider the viability of adding a fourth multi-hearth incinerator?
Fluidized bed.
Fluidized bed.
Yeah,
Oh, it
yeah,
was?
it's fluidized bed, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's okay.
I wrote it down.
Yeah.
You know, the only clarification was, who do you submit it to? Excuse me, if you submit it to you, this goes to the committee, but someone had a problem with the idea of submitting it to you, so maybe you want to clarify.
Well, we go to the clerk.
Well, I thought someone just had a problem, it went to you.
Then it's
directly,
gonna
not
go
the
back,
committee.
no, if it comes in, it's gotta come back to the committee.
Okay, so it has to. go to the
He's,
committee.
I believe when we set this up, Kelly, is he not the receiver of documents, not the chairman?
John has been,
John's, the clerk
been
is.
receiving them.
And then he would have to determine that there's gonna be a meeting. And you would call me and we would schedule a meeting for whatever it was, and we would then take it up.
So just to clarify, this is not just for the process for CDM Smith. This is,
No, for everybody.
this is a process, right? So your language, John's referencing CDM Smith. This is more of a generic resolution for public comments as it relates to this RFI
When we
process.
set
Well,
it-
this is the
when we
last, this is the last
The
one.
last
You
one.
sure?
Yes.
Well, if there isn't, it's gonna continue on as the policy anyway.
No,
So,
it's not, it's for this RFI only, that's all.
I'm
It's
saying
not-
for this
It's not a
RFI.
policy of the board.
Excuse me.
no, policy of the RFI, if we're gonna be asking others to come back
RFI
as part of
for
the process.
Technology committee.
Right. So if the resolution should be more generic than not specific to CDM Smith's proposal, right? It should be under the RFI process, if there's any public comments that are received by the district clerk, those comments will be, we will schedule a meeting for the technology committee to review those comments and make a determination of whether or not those are included, not included, whatever it might be.
I think Scott articulated that perfectly. I can make that,
Okay.
would someone like to move that, make that motion?
Articulate the total issue, the total resolution. Okay, let's not say what he added, who added, they added. Tell me what the resolution states, so we can present that to the body.
Okay, for the RFI process, any public comments or questions submitted to the district clerk will be brought to the Committee on Technology for determination on.
For disposition.
Yes.
Everybody understand that?
And can I just clarify,
Is there a
Commissioner?
discussion? Can I-
We need somebody to move the motion.
Is there a motion to adopt?
Move to adopt.
It's been moved and seconded. Okay, before us is the resolution. Is there discussion? Is there debate? Is there amendments? Is that?
Thank you. I'd like to clarify, Commissioner Curry. I think what I heard Commissioner Curry say was that he didn't recommend that the comments go to the RFI respond respondent that they would stay here. I'd like to clarify that. Are we, if the committee agrees that these should go forward, are we suggesting that they will be sent to the RFI responder, or are we just keeping those internal? That's a question.
No, they'll be before the committee.
Mr. Chairman, it was very clear that somebody can speak, say, even use 4-letter words. Are you going to write down and send it to other people? No. Process is committee decides what they want to send, period.
Yeah.
Not only on RFI, on everything.
But we've got to have a committee meeting, and when
Yes.
they come in, they're.
Even at that meeting, committee can decide whatever it is,
We-
ignore or don't ignore. And if they want to, they can include.
We don't
If
have-
not, up to that point, whatever committee has said, that's what should go.
That's not what you're saying, John. All right.
So Commissioner Curry exited the meeting. So
Oh, did he? Okay.
I think I had kind of the same thought, but he did make a comment where initially it will be held by the committee. What I heard Commissioner Curry say was the committee would consider it and then decide. He wasn't saying that they would inherently be withheld or held back. It was just for the committee
Yeah,
to decide.
we have not been as strict as we probably should be, because, and correct me if I'm wrong, there are actually only 7 people that are the determiners and participate in the process. Was that not, Kelly, what you basically represented to us? There was all the there was going to be, what do they call us?
Reviewers,
What are they?
reviewers.
The reviewers. There were 7 reviewers. And we've been rather liberal with the feeling that if commissioners are here, they can participate in that process. But originally, if we're going to go by the letter of our understanding of this information process, that the 7 people that were selected, which are 7 members of the committee, basically control what was going to be discussed and debated.
Well, the reviewers were provided the unredacted versions of the submittals, but the redacted versions were available to all commissioners.
Yeah.
Right, John?
Yes.
So I'm just saying, those were the 7 members. And you were
7 members
explicit.
had more information.
Right.
Yes.
So what we're going to do now is, if there's public comment and there's questions, that those questions be presented to John in writing. Okay? And if there are questions, we're going to have another meeting of the committee to review what those questions are, and then determine whether we're going to include those or accept those into the agenda of the meeting. I'm sorry, direct them to be answered by the person or the company that's being reviewed.
I would just note for the record, Mr. Chairman, that anything that gets read into the record, there has to be a request from a member of the body to read it into the record. That's all I'm suggesting. We're going to present this to the body. They're going to get a chance to look at it and decide whether they want these questions to go forward. That's fine with me. But with respect to having something read into the
And
record,
if they're
Robert's
accepted,
Rules of Order has, a member of the body has to
and
request it.
if they're accepted, they will be referred to whoever you're dealing with, that the questions are relative to. So we're comfortable with the motion as stated? No amendments? Okay, no more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I don't know where Commissioner Curry's.
Last meeting, we should just cancel it.
Okay, item number 6, are we still on this? Do you want to proceed any further? 6, I'm sorry. We took that out of order? No, we didn't. Okay, discussion of the Connecticut Public Utilities Regulatory Authority's Innovative Energy Solution Program. Is Chris still on? Chris?
Yeah, he's there.
I see. his-
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
Chris,
I'm here.
I asked you to review this Pura Innovative Energy Solutions and determine whether it would be consistent, or that we would qualify as an entity to pursue a part of the solutions, which would be, I believe it's a pilot process where there's up to $5 million if they feel that the criteria that we're presenting and the criteria that they have in the docket 17-1203 would be acceptable to make an application for.
And we looked at it, and Brendan Fox in my office, got a copy of the 65-page treatise from Pura on who's eligible to apply, what's the criteria for award, and what's the process going forward. This is from a bill that was passed in 2017, but they didn't get around to commencing the process until late 2021. In 2022, they had or 23, excuse me, they had a application process for a specific type of technology that was identified in what they considered to be phase 1 of the program. That was issued in early 2023. The deadline for application was, I believe, was May 1, 2023, and it is now effectively closed out. I think they're making their selections as before the end of the year, but that process is closed out. Within that process, the NBC as an entity is not specifically entitled to or eligible to make application. And we discussed that. What you need is really the innovator, the technology innovator to be the applicant. There may be a way to join with an innovator, file a joint application, but that's not really specific within the treatise issued by Pura. But if we're going to participate, that's the only possible way. But even that's unclear, quite frankly. We spoke with Pura about that, and it's even unclear to them as to whether that can be done. That being said, 2023 is closed out. In January 2024, they're going to go through a second phase, a second round of applications and potential grants in the not to exceed $5 million for, again, innovative technologies. They haven't set forth and won't set forth the criteria for that round 2 or phase 2 until January of 2024. And you and I spoke about that bill, and it was our common thinking that it's just too early to apply for 2024 until such time as you know what the criteria is and who might be eligible to apply. I know the last tranche we were not eligible. We may or may not be eligible in 2024.
Well, was it because it was restricted just to electric distribution companies?
Well, it was there's electric distribution companies and innovators. Those are the two criteria.
And innovators, yeah. If there was an innovator and we were part of that innovation, I would assume that we would have been eligible at least to submit it. They may have rejected it, but it would have the basis because it meets the other criteria that the docket is explicit on. And those are...
We're not an innovator.
Well, we could...
We're not the creator of the technology, Mr. Chairman.
Well, if we were going to be, if the technology would be used in the function of our operation, we would be an innovator.
It's for the technology, and they make grants to further the development of the technology or placement of the technology, but we're not. That doesn't make us an innovator. It makes us perhaps.
But I guess what I'm saying to you is, if
innovation.
we were going to do a pilot, the innovator could be we would be doing the pilot on. That would qualify for the $5 million or a portion thereof.
Well, not under the 2023 criteria, and perhaps under the 2024.
Well, let's see what the
We asked that yeah,
We'll
exactly.
see
And we asked that specific.
That'll be in January, and the response time, at least the last time, was by
Yeah.
April. By April.
Yeah, I think it's a 4-month lag
It's a
time.
4-month
Mr. Chairman,
lag
between
time.
Yeah.
I think
And
that
we
they
had
made
discussions-
decisions in June or July. And-
Yeah, yep, that's correct. And we had discussions with representatives of Pura on that very issue, and it's even unclear to them as to this, who has to be who else can be an applicant, I should say, besides a electrical distribution company or an innovator. So
Yeah,
hopefully they'll provide some clarity in their next phase.
right. Okay. Are there any questions? If not, Chris, thank you very much for your opinion.
Okay.
Further questions?
Did I miss item number 6?
Item number 6, go ahead.
CTEC response?
Yeah.
Did we already discuss the CTEC response?
No, we haven't.
Oh, I thought that, what were we doing here?
Well, we received, we
Okay,
received.
I'm sorry, this, 6, regarding CTEC responding to the following follow-up questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to refer this to
John asked
district
this to be
council.
put on the, John, you asked it to be put on the agenda.
I'm gonna refer this to district council. Chris, you want to handle this?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. We have, we did receive responses from CTEC, a response from CTEC on the last round of questions that were asked of them by both the board and one member of the public. Within that response, there were certain representations made that caused certainly some concern for my office and for the CEO. If it involves a claim, and I spoke with John about this in terms of FOI and whether the representations and in that response constitutes a claim under the FOI statute, and it is. If you, and I'll leave it to the board, I would strongly recommend that if we're going to discuss that particular claim, we should do that in executive session.
You want to go into executive session to discuss this?
I highly recommend it. You don't have to, it's your choice, but you can.
It's your recommendation, I'm asking you, is it your recommendation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is there any objection to go into an executive session?
You need an active motion to go into
I
executive session.
understand, I want to
Okay,
know if there's a
okay.
motion
Gotcha.
that someone's going to make. Is there a motion to go into
Make a
executive?
motion, go into executive session.
Second? Second. This isn't a debatable issue, I don't think, is it? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, who is going to be, who are we going to have sitting?
I would, if I might suggest, and obviously it's up to you, Mr. Chairman, but myself, because there's representations as to Mr. Jellison, and I believe that's it. Just the two of us. I don't know who else is in the room, so it's hard for me. I don't see who else is in the room.
You have,
Mr. Chairman.
you have Attorney Bonafonte is here.
Steve would stay in the room too.
You want him to stay in the meeting?
Yes, please. He's been working with our carrier on this.
Okay, that's what I want. Okay,
And Chris, there are other commissioners, non-members of the Committee on Technology. Do you want them to remain as well?
I think historically we've allowed them to remain in executive session, even though they're not members of the committee.
I'm not
Yes.
sure we did.
So there's no reason not to have that
Yeah,
here.
okay. I thought that we had changed that policy. Did we ever change it? We're restricted.
I know there's an opinion from Attorney Halloran that they could be allowed to remain in the room. We haven't changed that, Mr. Chairman. We
Okay.
could change it. I'm not suggesting you do it
No,
now,
I'm
but
just asking. I remember there was a question. I couldn't remember what. we-
yeah.
All right, Chris, I'm going to, I can move you into the executive session, okay? So you don't.
Okay, that's fine.
You won't have to do anything.
Okay, even better.
Okay, you're good.
Okay. Is there a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved.
Removed and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. where are we now, at item 7? We've been through 7, okay? Chris gave us his opinion, and we've got to wait and see in January what the position is, innovative is, that they're willing to look at, if anything. Opportunity for general public comment. Yes.
This is Judy Allen from West Hartford. I just want to say that I have and always will follow whatever rules you adopt about how I participate in this public process. The first, when submitting questions to the respondent by the public, use the name of the person asking. It's a public record, and I would be giving my name if asking the same questions in a public meeting. And two, rejecting a question. And I would strenuously object to the committee editing my questions without asking my permission first. Thank you.
Further comment from the public? You get that, John? If not, commissioners' request for future agenda items. The appropriate motion is in order.
So moved.
Without objection, we stand adjourned.